Thanks, IT. Hello, team. So today we are planning to cover some critical component and also amendment case creation. That is the major critical piece. Okay. And I will quickly go over a little bit of that API which Suhas had mentioned. Okay. So we'll spend only 5 to 10 minutes here. Okay. That few important thing that I wanted to cover. Okay. The details for the API, how it works, and some other details are mentioned over here. Okay, so we have already seen that how technically the API was designed. There was two API, and the way it works that we have created in MuleSoft two API, which Suhas had explained yesterday. Okay, one is scheduler, okay, and one is the system API. So system API is what directly connected with Iron Cloud, which actually upload the document. Okay, our scheduler calls this API. Okay, and this API make the call to Iron Cloud. And between this, we are using OAuth 2.0, and that integration pattern in coming future will get changed to client credential. And this upload job is what retrieve attachment from the Salesforce for which signature is completed. Okay, and then it try to build this. So if you at high level, what is happening, you can look at this how it is goes. Okay, it try to get those documents. Okay, wherever DocuSign status is completed. This is the very critical part. So this says that DocuSign has already completed. We have received all the signatures. And then based on that, we are building the payload. So if you look at this one, the payload, what we are building based on the contract and the attachment, it will have the contract ID and then workflow, Salesforce ID, workflow ID, and file name, and then the body, base 64. Okay, and this payload goes to the SAPI. And based on that, when we invoke the SAPI, okay, it upload the document. And all those error and everything we are logging into the Splunk. So this is that response payload we get. Okay, and here is one of the restricted. So Gopal, this is that some CPS detail for the lower environment. So this doesn't have that higher environment. So we will add you. Okay, there are only two people added. So maybe in case for reference you needed it. Usually we don't maintain here, but it is just for QA purpose. So we know the format. That's why we put in the document.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So, and here is some login details. How it is happening here is some V course detail and that scalability, that how this API and what we are using it here. Okay. And this is the format of how you need to identify for the success or failure. Okay. So this is just some details I thought of sharing. Okay. Here is
So,
that quick document.
where we have the Splunk details
Splunk
in
detail, you mean
the
this
index.
one? Index, sorry, I didn't get you, Gopal. What is that?
I don't understand much about Splunk. I mean, all the details about Splunk, right? What index we're using, and uh,
Yes, yes. So we was using one index, Gopal, but that still is has the problem. Okay. So we are trying to change the index actually. So the index which we are using, okay, that is not producing all the Splunk logs.
oh,
We do see some system logs, but not all kind of logs. Yeah.
okay,
Okay. So for currently, we are getting and we are monitoring within the uh, our that cloud hub itself.
okay, you're getting in the Cloud Hub, but
Correct.
you're not seeing that log in the Splunk.
No, because what is happening there, there is a problem with this index in the pipeline itself. Okay, and I don't see Suhas or Caesar. Caesar definitely, yeah, Suhas. So what he's working on that multi-app deployment part. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what team said that you try to do the deployment via that they are not ready to share that Splunk index detail and all from the pipeline, Gopal. So what they suggested, once you try to deploy, then let us know if it is not bringing up the right index. And last deployment happened without the pipeline for the production.
Correct.
Yeah. So I doubt even that is going to work, but let's see. Once we do the first deployment, if hopefully it is working, then we should be good. If not, then we again need to reach out. Yeah.
Oh, but at least we have tried it in lower environment to confirm, or you're saying we have to wait for production to happen.
Lower environment, I think it is still working, Gopal.
It is working. Only for higher environment, it's not working.
Correct. UAT and all, because that's where we did that manual deployment, right? So I think that's is what now the team is not. We raised the TD. Okay, what I discussed with Caesar just day before yesterday. Okay, that what he said that they wanted us to go via this multi-app deployment and then reach out if Splunk index or some problem is coming. They said we have set up everything based on the repo.
Actually, we also connected with the team right today. They said from multi-app deployment, right? They're enforcing. I mean, that supportability framework should be in place. So
Correct.
index and
That is
things.
what.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah. So I think we once we did that, Gopal. Okay, we are going to give a try in UAT. Okay, with that multi-app deployment.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so if that works, I think we should be okay. We need to do one more deployment in production also then, in order to bring the right credential.
So Gopal, from our end also we have one more application, right? So can we move that along with the Arvind's, I mean, an XNCLM in the multi-app deployment? Our changes also can we move, or we need to do some separate deployment?
Yeah, I mean, ours will go to production, right, Lakshmi?
Hmm.
So we
So
will.
it is not. I mean, it doesn't require any UAT deployment, Gopal. Our change.
No, I mean, maybe we could talk offline, Lakshmi, this. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe yeah. That topic is yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So Gopal, this is the plan. Okay. We will be doing this deployment at least until UAT. Okay, and let you know how things goes. If that works fine, then I think we should be okay to handle this in next release. Okay. Yeah. So any question in this part, guys?
So
So Arvind, from process API, we are trying to push, we are trying to make a post call to system API, right? And
Correct.
in that post, we are sending all the binaries.
All the binaries. You mean the file one you are saying, Gopal?
Yes,
Attachment?
attachment data also,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Mm.
So we send, okay, the blob data over there, and I think there is in SAPI we are converting it the format so Iron Cloud accepted.
Okay, so we are sending one, or we are sending a bulk data.
Bulk. It is they that means if you send one, it process that. If you send list, that also get processed there.
Okay.
Okay, so that API is calling actually within the loop. Okay, if it is get more than one, it keep on calling and processing that. Yeah. Okay, so let's come into the amendment part, team. Okay, so the amendment process. Okay, let me see if we have some records over here. Okay, so amendment process for SOW start from the root contract. Okay, and there are some filter criteria based on that only amendment button will be visible. Okay, currently it is not showing because that this status for this is not completed. Okay, so I will manually change for now. Okay, and let's see if it is visible. Okay, so I will change this to executed. So if you look at this one, okay, the critical part for this is, okay, I will explain little technical. So we have created a small class over here. This class try to get the related child orders opportunity. Okay, so this is the part. Okay, if I go and I can show you here. Maybe on this, if I go to this related opportunity, so the class, okay, you can check the code, but I can explain what that class is doing. So that class try to read if there is any child opportunity, this one, okay, for this related opportunity, okay. And there is a junction object actually, okay, which handle this one, okay. So these are the child opportunity. So child opportunity, there is currently no orders child opportunity. So we are checking only the orders child opportunity. So if this class found some, then it will bring those child opportunity option for user to select. If there is no child opportunity, then it will give an user an option to clone the opportunity from where amend process is started. So it was started from the contract. Okay, so whatever the linked opportunity, it will try to uh, clone that opportunity. Okay, so there is more filter actually. So I don't have exactly that record, but I can show you what is that. Let's see. I see. Is Henry is there? Hey Henry, you there, man? Henry, you are in mute if you are talking.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey Henry, do you have one record in NGCLM dev,
Uh,
if possible, to
which
take off
is
that
executed?
amend? Yeah, to.
Sure. Let me
Okay.
check 1 second.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. So see, these are that actually filter criteria. So keep those in mind. Okay. So if you can see that executed for SOW, okay, and why I am not seeing, because I am on that change order. Just now I noticed that. But these are the criteria. Okay. So keep in mind if suppose, because we have seen so many issues where user just left right start raising that they are not seeing this, they are not seeing this. So these are the filter criterias. Okay, so in the meantime, I will go here. So you can see here, okay, that we are starting, okay, the assignment. Okay, thanks, Andy.
Yeah, you can use this.
Okay, yeah, that works actually. Yeah, so here is that the record which satisfied all the condition. Okay, it's from FSQA3. So if you can see here, so I clicked it. And Henry already covered means more functional things. So I will mainly focus here on the technical part. So you can see here these two change order comes in, right? Okay, the $0 and the change order. So if I go back to here, okay, this is how that opportunity was read, okay, and then this amend screen comes in, okay, with the option. So if I go back here, okay, so there is one thing, if it is $0 change order, it is always going to be the getting tagging to the same opportunity from where you started this, okay, which is on the contract. So if you look at this one, test SOW, okay, this is the opportunity which get for the $0. And cloning option comes in only for this, okay. So you can see here, it is already showing us that existing opportunity to select because there was already an opportunity, okay. If I delete this opportunity from the child section, okay, then let's verify that also, then this option will not be coming and we will get an option to clone that opportunity. You can see here if it is change order, okay, or $0 change order, okay. So here it is start change order directly creating that, okay, and this one, and here also we start creating, okay, but both have the different process. This flow is pretty simple, not much of that, but only sub part is here, okay, that when no opportunity value found, okay, then we give an user option to clone that opportunity. Is that clear, guys? Okay. So you can see here, we are seeing this opportunity because there is already a change order. Okay. So let me delink it. Okay. For now. So now there is no opportunity. Okay. And I go back here. So now you can see here, there is no existing child change order opportunity. Okay. And now we are getting an option, okay, to clone it. So if I go back, it start bringing me that edit screen. Okay. And that's where whole flow is going. This part. Okay. So this is the part, okay, there were few fields which was left blank, okay, because those will be user uh, yeah, that's all. So this is how this change order happens, okay. So once this is created, it will generate a new contract and it will have a new flow for user to start for the change order. And you can see here this opportunity got created, okay, and it will generate new order if we go to next. Okay. So we can see here, okay, the launch form. Currently it is not coming. I think someone deployed that flexi page. So you can see that what I was referring yesterday, that whenever we deploy the flexi page, okay, then it just reset that this workflow. Okay, so now I will get to the case creation. Okay. So you can see here that case creation. So case creation, that the whole process started, okay, because legal were unable to get notified and there is a different process, okay, they maintained, there are many people who maintain that from the APEC team and all other their Dublin team and all, that's what I got to know. Okay, so for them handling just based on this like iron cloud stuff was very difficult for them. Okay, So they wanted a proper case which is assigned, so they can go to that case and they can take respective action. So for that, what we have done, okay, and this is only for the legal approval, okay. So if I go here, say this also completed children review. Okay, this one. Yeah, so this is the right example. So these approval are set up within the Iron Cloud. Okay. So you can see here there are multiple level of approval. Okay. These is called the approval role. Okay. So this is little different terms, guys. Okay. And just this needs some learning here because their terms is very much different than what we call it in Salesforce. So they call this approval role. Okay. This is the approval roles, and whoever get assigned, they are the approval assignment. Okay. It may go to a group, then there is that is called that approver groups. Okay. So for this approval role, every approval role, there will be a one row or one record will be created in Salesforce, and that is created in Iron Cloud approval object. Okay. So Iron Cloud approval object will hold legal row for this. Okay. And one will be created for this one. So this is the key for us to look at that whether legal approval was triggered or not. Okay. And only anytime it goes either reset or it go redlining or whatever is happened. Okay. If suppose I approved it. Okay. And again it goes to redlining and this again reset to in progress. Still there will not be any new row created for that approval role. Okay. It will be just made status change even in the Salesforce Iron Cloud approval also. So we created the trigger. Okay. If I go back, you can see that this only for the created. Okay. So if I go here, so this trigger when record is created. Okay. And we are just doing this on the creation. Okay. And this is something very interesting thing that we have added 2 minutes of delay here. Okay. And this delay was added because there is some glitch in that Iron Cloud, which we found after so much of debugging, that whenever Iron Cloud is creating any record, okay, even whatever record they create, okay, based on the integration, if you also seeing, okay, this kind of issue, so just pay a little more attention. What they do, they create the record, okay, first, whatever values directly, but wherever the record has the lookup, they are creating Iron Cloud like approval. If suppose it has that lookup for contract, account, and all those lookup values get updated, okay, in the second or third or fourth call. So they make back and forth call to populate those lookups. Okay, so not all the lookups get populated in one call. So I think we found it was making third call where they was updating the contract. Okay. And what we was doing means that time we didn't have this 2 minute delay. Then we was checking the record type of the contract. So it did not find the contract. So no record type. So case was not getting created. And that's where we then debugged it. We found that, okay, then we has to add the delay. Once Iron Cloud settle, it is 45 seconds. We saw the maximum. We ran around 30 tests. Okay. And I don't see Junior here, but thanks to Junior, he has done very extensive analysis in this. Okay. And there was around 45 to 30 tests we have run, and we found the maximum time it was taking the 45 seconds. Okay. And then we added the 2 minute delay. after getting the alignment with Anu and everyone. Okay, because team was fine even to adding 5 minutes, but we found that okay, 2 minutes is good. Okay, so after 2 minutes only case will be created. So if you see that issue even in production or anywhere, people are saying, hey, case is not created. So ask them to wait for few minutes, refresh the screen and see it. Okay, because we already saw a couple of times that even now also some user has reported they don't see the case because they go back again immediately and try to look at the case.
Arvind,
Okay, so they, yeah, go ahead, Gopal.
I didn't followed you completely. Uh, can you scroll up little?
On this.
Uh, so this delay is for case creation or the role that is created in the Salesforce.
No, case creation means our process to trigger it actually. Yeah,
Okay, and this flow is written on that role, right? Approval.
right,
Iron
right. Yes,
Okay.
Iron Cloud approval. Yes, because it make back and forth call, Gopal. Okay, so what happens? Okay, if you look at this one, this process goes asynchronous if you add the wait time here. Okay,
Mhm.
but event is already put it into the queue. Means I am talking a little bit of very much behind the scene how it is happening. Okay, when this is created, event is immediately put it into the queue. Okay, with 2 minute wait minimum. It may go 4 minute, 5 minute wait also. There is no guarantee that it get executed in 2 minutes. Sometimes 3 or 4 minutes also. Okay, but event is already put it there, and in that time, this record gets settled completely. So this record will have that Iron Cloud approval record will have all those lookups and everything populated by that time because it is making back and forth call.
So when
But
you say
creation
lookup, Arvind,
uh,
when you say lookup, what is that lookup? So there is some
means
lookup on the approval role record
correct. Yes,
and lookup to which object? Workflow object.
correct. Look up to workflow object. Then it goes to from the workflow we are going into the contract. Then contract we are reading those the record type Gopal
Oh, so
to
they
trigger.
are creating the approval role record, but the lookup to workflow is not populated on that.
Correct. So that's how
Okay.
it is happening. So if so, see, all the event is in sequence. I can understand why it is happening that way. When you submit the workflow, okay, you can see that screen comes in which is on hold, right? That one window pop up. Please wait.
Correct.
Iron
Correct.
Cloud is creating. Yes. So that is the behind the scene. It is doing back and forth. It creating the workflow. It is creating approval role, and back and forth it is populating, and that process happened within multiple transactions but in the same time.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Does this make sense, Gopal? Did you understand why
No, I
now?
understood you. I'm just thinking, why is it? I mean, can't they? Why
I
can't they?
spoke to Chelsea about it
Uh,
and they said that is how it is, Arvind, behind the scene managed package is doing.
so they are creating the record and then they are updating the workflow ID on the
Correct,
in
correct,
different
that's how
transition.
it is happening. Yes, yes. So it is some time taking, maybe record save process is taking time, then they will have that linking and all their object created, okay, metadata created, so it takes some time. Okay, so it inserted a on create. Okay, and once this gets settled, then we see the metadata we have created as part of this one. Okay, so the metadata just has record type. Okay, and case creation if active or not, we want it to get it active. Okay, and this is the decision metadata. Okay, whether we want it to activate it or not based on the record type and all. Okay, so you can check that metadata also. If it is found all those decisions, okay, approval role, okay, the metadata itself has that approval role, record type, for which record type, for which approval role we are supposed to fire this. Okay, so currently is legal approval role. So this will check is legal approval role. Okay, and then based on that we will just create an, so here is an apex class, okay, which we are creating the case over here. Okay. And this class we could have created here also, but actually assignment rule will not get fired, okay, from the flow itself. So that is the limitation. And that's why we created an Apex class where we call that Apex class. So we create the case in same DML and fire the that assignment also. So it assigned to the default legal support queue.
We're talking about the DML options again.
Correct. DML option, yes, right. So is that piece clear, guys, regarding the case?
Yeah, thanks.
Because this is,
Yeah.
no problem, Gopal. This is something extensive they are going to use, Gopal, what I was hearing from SOW, okay? So let me see if we have a case which I can show here, okay?
So do they have planned to fix this, Arvind?
I think this is how that is behaving, Gopal. I spoke long time back. Chelsea said this is how it is behaving, okay? There is no plan to fix it and all. This is how system is designed.
So
It was long back.
So instead of uh, did we thought of writing an update?
Update, yes, but actually it should only come only once actually, Gopal. So safer was create only, okay, to trigger only once, and we are sure we don't want to get a trigger for any other instance.
Okay.
So we has to add additional logic to handle it, that it doesn't go inside of that.
Okay.
If you are putting update, yeah. So that was the reason. So the most safer option we look at that time, Gopal, it was like, okay, put the 2-minute wait, because they have no problem. It goes asynchronous, which save so much things for us also, okay? Because I would say it is kind of batch running, okay, for the single, uh, just a single thread for that create. Okay, so here case will be created. I don't see that case actually, and let me show one case over here. And Lakshmi, this is what they are going to heavily use. Okay, what I heard. Okay, starting from maybe coming month or something. Those case and all. Yeah. So this is just an FYI for you also. You
Sure.
may see many many people reaching out. Yeah. So this is the case which get created actually. Okay, and we change this. It is not saying this is very old actually. Okay, so what we are doing here, we will put in the link for that case. Sorry, for that Iron Cloud workflow link, and that is what they wanted. So while creation of case, we are populating some fields, okay, and in the description, we are populating SOW will not be there. Okay, it is legal case created. Here is the workflow. So they click on that, they start going into and taking the action there.
Got it.
Okay, so if this is clear, let me now come into that very important topic, okay, which is I plan to cover this as last topic, but feel free to schedule, or feel free to, if you have any other topic, okay. I covered most critical topics which may have like, which may you see, okay, enhancement and all, okay. Okay, so here is, so if you look at this one, okay, so currently we are in NGCLM tab, right? Our SSO setup is for apps QA3. Okay. So suppose now someone asks you to, okay, they wanted to get added over here. Okay. So we are doing this addition from here. Okay. Either we can make them and assign any group or something. Okay. And we can make them. But if you go to NGCLM, I will show that example, and then I will go why I'm explaining this. If anyone wanted to get added, at least in development side, okay, let's request them to go through the IIQ process, okay, which goes to that manager, and manager approved, they get added here as an admin people. Okay, that is what I would say. But suppose if you are adding someone here manually, okay, then we can add it either via email. So use this sign in via Okta. So they will be SSO enabled. But I will strongly recommend go via IIQ, not to add them directly here, because in XQA3, if it is NGCLM, if they are added over here, then we can add them in NGCLM directly. And now I comes to the group part. Okay, so I think I need to go to UAT. So you can see this is running behind the scene via our SSO setup. And with each deployment, we get many SSO question or many SSO things, okay? Because they might be not aware, they are at getting, maybe group push did not happen or something is missed, okay? That's what happened. So here to notice one thing, okay, maybe some of people may be aware. So if you look at this one, Iron Cloud UAT commercial legal user, this is the strict format from the Okta naming convention purpose. So suppose if you are planning or if you are going ahead, okay, adding new group, don't add directly here first. You first need to request that group in IIQ. Once that group is approved, then only you come and follow this naming convention very strictly. Okay, so this should be Iron Cloud, okay, dash UAT, and then this, and after that you can have this naming convention. So if you look at this one, most of all, okay, whatever we have, you just accept these, they will strictly follow these naming convention. Okay, and now if I go to this commercial legal, okay, and one of the user can be default user. Okay, and pay more attention here, guys. Okay, one user will be only the default user which get notification whenever any activity happen. Okay, whenever that approval submit or something happen, that user will get, and that's where email alias comes into the picture. Because what was happening, Jim Maron was the default user, so he was getting bunch of email whenever workflow is submit and all for this group. If this group is assigned as an approver group for any Iron Cloud approval role, then default user only will get that email notification, not all the user. That is limitation, you can say, from the product. Okay, so what happened to solve that problem? Okay, we came up with creating the email alias. So email alias is a group in the Google which will have almost many user like Jim and all those, okay, this commercial legal user, okay, they are part of this group. So what we did, we went here, make default user. We added this email manually. This didn't come from the IIQ. Okay, that was the exception we got from SOX. Okay, so, and another thing, never add any user in UAT and production without the SOX approval directly. This is very strict, guys. We has to follow that. Okay, we never add anyone until we see the SOX approval is there, even whoever says it. Okay,
So adding user, I mean, okay, the user we created, right? So there has to be a SOX approval for that.
correct. If you are coming through IIQ, Gopal, no SOX approval, because groups is SOX approval, so they take care of all approval process and all, because it goes via already approval process. But there are chances when people start saying, hey, I am not there, can we add it for the testing purpose and all, and that we see very frequently, okay, in UAT and all. And production, definitely there is a big no, okay, because SOX is not allowing adding anyone. It goes through complete review process. So until unless SOX say thumbs up, then only we need to add. For these groups, we got the SOX exception approval. Okay, business explained the problem, and then they approved it. Then we added those groups. So these are only the groups, email alias, which is currently in production and UAT.
So this email is this a DL, Athan?
Yeah, it is kind of DL. Yes, Gopal. Means they create some in Google. They have an option to create the workspace. Okay, that email alias, and that's where they add 20-30 people. So when email is triggered to this group, it goes to everyone there.
Okay, but then how does it solve the problem, right? Like you said, uh, Jim Maran was bombarded with.
Correct. Now what happens? They assign this as a default user. So with Jim Maron, everyone in that group is getting that. Okay.
Okay.
So they wanted at least it reached to their shift timing and all. There are many things, Gopal, which they have in their business process. Okay, who is monitoring what time, who is doing what time. So based on that, people start taking the action.
Mhm.
Because Jim has a big team. What he was saying, if I am not taking action, someone from my team will look into it. Or Ryan was saying, yeah, someone will look into it. But if I am the default user, that means I become the primary person always to monitor or inform someone.
Makes sense.
Okay, so we never change these default user. Okay, they all remain as is. Okay, in production, never add anyone directly. In UAT, that should be business approval. Okay, sometime we do exception, but that needs to happen business approval in the support force case or something. So that is what we was following, Lakshmi. Okay, so as you are taking care, maybe next time testing and all. Okay, just get the business approval, then only add in UAT, and production never
So
without socks.
in so Aravind, so without socks, right? So in production, you said you want to take socks. Is there any intake form which we need to fill, or business going to fill the intake form? How
Yeah,
the
they will do. They need to submit that support force case. Okay,
Mhm.
and they will provide the SOX exception approval to add
Ah,
that.
mhm.
Yeah, because our application is completely SOX compliance. Okay,
Right.
yeah,
Mm.
because I am literally dealing with many hours I spend with them, so I would would say keep in mind, else we has to give very big explanation. Okay,
Right.
and
So
that's
if
why I
we
removed many groups. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
that's good.
Sorry, yes. So actually, if you urgent, is there any urgent requirement? Then,
Mhm.
if you, it will take some. If you raise a IAQ request, so it will take some time to approve because it is. I think it will not get immediately approved. So in this
Right.
case, how we need to reach out, how we need to tackle those requests.
Yeah, so those requests, because the approval request, we always say, okay, uh, I think Manoj know also this better. So we already made a plan. Suppose the release is happening this way. We will tell for this release, whoever user wanted to get access for any respective group or something, please raise that request in advance. That is what we was following. Means very much advance, we will call it out. Okay. At last moment, we may not be able to add anyone.
Oh, got it. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So we don't add directly manually or something. Okay. And definitely in production, there is no way, Lakshmi, and never add anyone because without the SOX approval. Yeah. Only this UAT with business approval.
Got it. Right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And that too. Yeah. So this is the group. And now I go to another important part quickly to cover. Okay. Now suppose this group is there and now we need to, there is one more thing. Okay. Whenever new workflow is created, whenever new workflow has some update or something, okay, there may be some, there was multiple instance where user were unable to launch the workflow, unable to do something. Okay. So what you need to do first thing to check that, okay, you come and see that which group that user is assigned. Okay. And then you come here and see whether he has the right permission under that group. Suppose tomorrow there is one more workflow get created. Okay. And then if you look at this one, this will be the group label permission, okay, which user will have, what they can do with workflow. So you can see here starting a workflow, which user can start the workflow. Okay, which workflow user can start. So I have given these 3 workflow. If I remove any of these workflow, they can't make progress with that. They can't launch the flow. Okay, and that user will not know. Okay, so this is something we need to see. So we have given that access. So if you look at this one, okay, these access should always be only the admin label. We never grant anyone this access. So no workflow should have these access other than the admin. And admin means I say,
Can you scroll
yeah,
up?
Gopal, right?
This professional services SOW, right? Starting. Then
Right.
professional services CEO, they are groups.
No, they are workflow, Gopal. It's saying, see this, they are workflow name actually. Professional
So they can
service
start
SOW.
this workflow. Okay, got it.
Correct. So they can start that workflow. If we remove that one or they don't have access, okay, they will start seeing that workflow is not present or workflow access denied and all those kind of message on the screen. Okay, so whenever you notice Lakshmi, any user raising this kind of request, first check whether which group he is, whether he has that group has that right access to the workflow or not.
So let's say a user can be assigned to multiple groups, right, Arvind?
Correct.
Right. So while troubleshooting, we identify that a user is trying to uh, basically access a workflow, right? But uh, the group he has, right, doesn't have that access, right? So if he has to be added to a group, right, where he gets that access, right, it has to happen through IIQ, right?
Correct. Yes. In
That-
IRQ, we have all the groups.
Mm.
Okay. It is not manual. So we have it for UAT and production, all groups are created. So he has to request and get added to the right group.
Okay. So even our QA environment is based on IIQ.
QA environment, we just set up for Gopal our integration purpose. It is just purely it add you into the admin. But those group setup start from the UAT.
UAT.
Yes. So from UAT and prod, these group things comes in fully in picture.
So that's why we use this ironclad underscore UAT convention.
Correct. That belongs to UAT. And if UAT you remove, those are completely production group.
Okay, so production will be ironclad hyphen commercial legal users.
Correct.
Mhm.
So that is what indicate that respective groups. Okay. So this was one of the important things.
So,
Mhm.
so how do we deploy groups, Arvind? I mean, group, is it a completely manual thing?
It's a manual, Gopal.
So if we want to move, okay. Let's say
Yeah.
we add
So
a
we
new.
need to create the group. Yes. We
Okay,
need
so
to set up the group. Yeah.
it's the import export will not work for groups, right?
No, that import export will not work. So there is a sheet actually. Okay.
Mhm.
And which has that how this group and all everything will be created. Okay. And I think I had that sheet. Okay. Let me see. Iron Cloud group sheet. Iron Cloud. Iron Cloud group permission. Let me see if this is the right sheet. Yeah. So you can see here whenever, and let me share this sheet to Lakshmi. I will share to you and
Can we keep this in a common folder, Arvind, wherever we have all the documents?
yeah, we can keep it. I will add Gopal, you and Lakshmi. Yeah, and then we'll put that. Okay. Okay. So suppose tomorrow one new group comes in Gopal in picture. Okay. I think that's where you are going. So we would ask, okay, that, okay, provide us the detail. This detail they need to fill in. Okay. And that based on that, we set up the group because this is
Who has to
simply
fill in?
aligned of
Who has to fill in? Business user?
business. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And these two permission should always be no. Okay. This one, group administrator permission for any group. Okay. Other than admin, no one should have this permission to add users. Yeah. So we ask them, fill in this seat, provide us, so they will give us the detail, and that's where the whole process gets started.
Mhm. So this is for us to do the changes, right, in higher environment,
Correct.
not for
Yes.
IIQ. For
Yes.
IIQ,
IIQ,
it will be us or business will raise the request.
it will be business for the IIQ. Business will raise the IIQ request and they will give us the reference that this group is completed in IIQ. Can we have that set up? Once we create
But
that same
what if,
name of group,
what if business doesn't follow this convention, ironclad hyphen UAT and
then that group cannot be get progress, Gopal. Means we cannot then make that group in Iron Cloud. That SSO will not work because Okta team will simply push back. That's not the right naming convention.
okay, so Opta team is aware that what convention
Correct.
is followed.
Yes, they will push back. Okay, and sometime if they suppose approve it, I seen that one group was approved, which we was dealing with SOX. Okay, and finally, okay, when time came when we asked them, okay, that can we push this group? Okay, even the SOX itself will catch that that is not the right naming convention. Okay, so we strictly has to follow this naming convention. If somehow it got created, then we has to delete and recreate it again.
So,
Good, Lakshmi.
Arvind, so is there any SOX report, like SOX call is scheduled? Because how they know, like they want to verify anything in Iron Cloud, right? Is there any SOX calls or any report we going to share with them?
Yeah, there was many SOX call. Okay, and the SOX people they get extract every month, or I think that QAR happen. Okay, that they will they will ask you to export all the users. Okay, you may
Mhm.
see soon. So this is what happens if you look at this one, download CSV. Okay, once I download, it will have each user who is assigned to which group and which workflow access they have. They
Oh,
review that and they want get this review by the entitlement owner, which is business people,
mhm.
each and every user from the group. So at that level of will happen if any user or any group which is added here, which is not SOX compliant, they will have many questions. Okay.
Okay, okay. So they will reach out to us via Slack group, or is there, I mean, we need to attend the calls?
Yeah, they will create a case, they will assign the case.
Okay, okay, so
Okay. So so for this, they will always reach out to us. Okay. And for going forward, I think maybe you are the admin, Lakshmi, so they may reach out to you also. Okay, for this SOW purpose. Okay, that provide us those details, and it is a big sheet and big form. Okay, which take hours to fill and provide all the details. They will provide you the details which have 3 time zone. Okay, while you are doing, you has to make that some video with that time zone. So three uh, clocks will be there. Okay, and which will be visible with current time and date and everything. So there is some process. Okay, which I was doing with Radhika. Okay, a little time consuming, but that's how SOX wanted us to follow.
right. They want the current time which we when trying to report. You're generating the report or downloading the data, right? They want to take the screenshot along with the date and time.
Correct. Yep. So this is our last part, and one part I think we just have 1 minute. I will cover. So Gopal, we was having discussion about the Slack integration. Okay, which is already identified, I think. Okay, so Kevin was asking me when we can have that integration with the Slack one. Okay, but there is what Nicole and Rhonda mentioned to me. Okay, that we will handle it via LPX. Okay, but business is still not yet decided whether they wanted to move forward or not.
So currently, where is it? Is it in QA or UAT?
It is in QA.
And where have we kept the steps that we have performed? Arvind?
Steps, I think there is a quick document, Gopal, I can share. Okay.
Mhm.
Ignacio has prepared a quick document, and I think Caesar also. Okay. I think it is currently uh, absolutely.
No, like I mean, business says yes, gives a go, right?
Mhm.
We'll be following those steps, right?
Correct.
Because
Yeah. So yeah, it is in QA3 currently. Okay. The only question which I had for Chelsea, maybe we can put it in our integration session, Gopal. Okay. That how to change my email to some generic email. Okay. But it is very straightforward, Gopal. Means when you come here, it will ask us to link. Okay. And once we start linking, it will identify that part. But there is some step which user also has to do, and that's where they are thinking whether that information, whatever they are getting, these many uh, chat, Slack post and all is needed or not. But uh, Purav is working on that part actually. Okay, so he will reach out to, maybe if Manisha is there on the call, to Manisha and talk to on the step. But currently, it has not reached to us that start or which release and all. So that discussion is it with the business only and product team.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah. So this complete all the topics which we planned, Henry and I. Okay, and this was all critical part which I thought of covering. But guys, if you think there is some more things or any other topics, okay, I know that because whatever was in our head and some critical part that we try to cover, but feel free to set up any time. Okay, but as all our KT planned that we had completed today. Yeah.
thank you, Arvind.
Okay, no